Mambo kabisa. Mimi niko fine. Hiyo ni yenu. Hiyo ndio nyinyi mnafanyaga.
Mouse ya waya tunauzanga
250.
250.
Yes. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. How are you doing this good Thursday? Thank you with a lot of love. Thank you for the love emojis. Thank you guys. Wow, how are you doing guys? Thank you Jamie. How are you doing? How are you doing? Thank you guys. Let's like the live, and if this is our first time, also guys, let's subscribe, and I'm going to appreciate. Let's like the live guys. Thank you so much guys, with a lot of love for liking the live, for liking the live. I appreciate guys. How are you doing guys? How is your Thursday? How is everyone going on? Thank you. Yes sir. Thank you. Let's like the live, guys. Let's like the live.
Sawa sawa.
Tukabere nikarega. Ya sawa reke tuone. Last day no.
Hello. Nini hiyo? Waile. Niko hapa kwa soko ndio najaribu kutafuta. Uko wapi wewe?
Karen, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Digi. Wapi hata?
Ino kwa jari. Iyo kwa jagwe de iye wega muno iyo. De iye wega muno. Yeah?
1%.
Yes, one.
Remove.
Ni sawa.
Wewe diki. Kuja diki wewe ni nini lakini leta so hapo unakuja. Ni leta so. Diki leta so. Diki sasa unahapa. Diki acha hizo.
Diki hiyo maneno haezi. Diki hiyo maneno haezi taka.
Kile gachwani. Gachwani. Neko pona nyara yaka hiyo ruega. Mira ko. Diki wageta kitu dau. Pero abia jia kukomani.
Mr. Diki.
Wewe modo. Diki dole modo. Yaani diki doge igana mani. Wewe diki na hatika kuba hau.
Karen, umeiona? Thank you.
Yoka.
Peter, high the qualities of integrity, honesty, clean living, high moral standards, eating from your sweat are unchanging, but the crooked ones try to shift the goalpost. I agree. Yeah, of course, when one is crooked,
Very good.
yes, till number 9482 537. 9482 537. It's unmuted. It's unmuted. I don't know if you can. Don't know if now you can hear.
What did you hang on? I don't think you went. Hang on, I'm gonna marry. G. Did you want? Did you G? Wait again. Huh? Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm having our friend.
Did you go? Okay. Hola.
Dicky.
Hey, como para toa. Mo ga kanika hanga gale mo. Leo do. Lagi mo ga kanika ai ate.
Oh. Yes, of course, integrity is perceived to be decreasing, especially in the corporate settings, you know. And some of the key factors that maybe are linked with the deterioration of integrity, we are seeing like factors such as self-absorption, increased accountability issues, as Peter has said, this is where maybe the crooked really want not to be accountable, and there is also an aspect of cultural shift, and maybe the long term. 9482. Yes. 9482 537. Yeah, those are some of the key factors, that may lead to deterioration of integrity. But as said, we have what we call the corporate scandals. Yeah, this is where maybe we are having a lot of scandals in the corporate world. Yeah, in the governance, in the corporate world, we are having a lot of scandals. That at the end of the day, they really worsen our view of integrity. So corporate scandals, they really threaten integrity, So integrity, essentially, it should not change. Thank you guys for voting. Yeah, essentially, it should not change. It should remain constant. But as we keep on preparing some scandals, each and every time, scandal here, there, at the end of the day, then we may perceive as if integrity is decreasing. I think even besides even at the corporate level, we have also prepared scandals even in our families. This is where we are maybe encouraging some of the key misconduct. Karen, explain in a simple way. That's where now I'm going at the personal level. Yeah. This is where, Karen, for instance, in your house, you are really encouraging your child not to be straight. For instance, you see when a child goes to school and then he comes with a pencil, and you know that tomorrow you are not going to buy that pencil, you are very, very okay with that. You don't even bother to ask him or her where maybe she got that, that pencil. The same thing for sweaters, Those are some of the key simple things that we are tending to cultivate even at the family level. So that child will always grow believing that even if I have something and maybe it yes, hata hiyo jacket, yeah. You see, at the end of the day, you just agree with that child that even when she does any mistake, there is no issue as long as you are benefiting as a parent. You might see it as a maybe indirect benefit, because maybe kesho maybe you will not be asked for for some money to buy that sweater, kwanza anaanza kujua kuficha vizuri. Yes, Karen. Yeah, I think now you got it. That's how now we are deteriorating integrity even in our household. Now that child will keep on preparing some kiss cuddles, small, and then at the end of the day, yes, absolutely, that's what really happens. Bado sawa. Unaona huyo nake na polisi anatinda. Hiyo ndake goroka. Ndiogerie, idi akwega till number. Nduwete. Anyandikira ha. Ama kutusi na kutemea watu mate. Yeah, Karen, I agree. You see now, when we start from that form of environment, we are really now encouraging that child not to, to develop integrity at the end of the day. So I think one part is all about us failures as parents. And one that child, grows up, atafika mahali, he or she will go maybe and maybe get a job somewhere, and then maybe that in that job maybe they are getting what we call pesa ya mlango ya nyuma. You know those stories that you always hear. Yeah, maybe someone is managing something, but at the end of the day they are using the back door, to steal, in quotes. They always say it is to take, but in quotes, we don't say to steal, but we always put some quotes and we say, I work in that place, so I just took it. We don't perceive it as stealing. And then at the end of the day, you just see maybe your husband or your wife or maybe your daughter or your son or your brother or your sister, maybe in the news, being perceived as one of the guys that propelled a certain scandal, maybe in their office, because that's the kind of upbringing, yeah, that we really got from the parent. And then in the process, instead of the parent saying, you need to change on this and that, this sweater is not yours, let's return, or you take back to the class teacher and you say this sweater is not for my son or for my daughter, you just take it and then you just move in. And then at the end of the day, you just say, tomorrow I'm not going to buy that rubber, tomorrow I'm not going to buy that book, tomorrow. You see, now we really keep on. Yeah, Islan, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Wow, thank you. Thank you for joining, Islan. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Karen, the other issue. Wow, thank you so much, Aslan. Islan, thank you so much for joining. I'm fine at Islan. The other aspect is all about what we call the self-absorption. This is where you focus on individual gain. You don't want others to benefit. You really want just you and you to benefit. When others benefit, then it becomes an issue. And this is really happening in our political scene. For instance, there was a time, and I'm sorry to say this, there was a time I saw our president, really talking about some guys that are really taking money, maybe in the parliament, and they are not sharing with others. That's a form of corrupting what we may call integrity, in terms of trying to hide or trying to conceal who are you, from, or where are you. I believe you are saying, where am I from? I'm from Kenya. And you? So now we conceal. The moment now we start concealing some information, because some individuals are really benefiting, and then in the process we are in it, or we don't want others to benefit, then that also becomes an issue. And in the process, it really kills our integrity, because the moment we really want is just me that I should benefit, the others. I think this is what is really happening in the world when you come to the issue of political class. We have our politicians all over the world. Wow, thank you so much. Joining all the way from Bangladesh. Thank you so much, with a lot of love. Thank you so much, with a lot of love. How is Bangladesh? Thank you for the support all the way from Bangladesh. How is Bangladesh? So the kind of self-absorption thing, it's also really killing our trust. It's really killing our trust. The other issue is also the lack of trustworthy. Karen, you cannot trust your husband. Your husband cannot trust you. Your friend cannot trust you. You cannot also trust your teacher. You cannot also maybe trust your preacher. Yeah. You cannot also trust maybe your president, your MP. There is no one is trusting another one. You cannot even trust your son is telling the truth. Each and every time, maybe you are beating maybe your son or your daughter, or maybe you are talking to them, you always say, you are lying, even if they are not trying, because we have what we call the erosion of trust. You cannot even trust your teacher when they collect maybe your son or your daughter because they did wrong in school. You are really defending, she did, maybe the teacher was not right. Why did he or she beat my son or my daughter? Whereas at the end of the day, they should have informed me. You see, when now we start having such type of mistrust, at the end of the day, we really erode, what we may call integrity. And the process of not having that form of trust, you cannot even, you are like maybe an employer. You don't even want to leave your workplace because you really believe that when I leave this workplace, maybe they are going to do A, B, C, D, that type of a fear. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we now tend to create what we may call the personal interest. You don't want to trust anyone. We cannot even trust our police for them to give us our safety. At the end of the day, when now we start doing what we call the personal mistrust, then it becomes an issue. It really becomes an issue. So also erosion of trust may also change the aspect of how we should be able to view integrity. So mistrust always erodes integrity, and I think it's not a good thing, because each and everywhere I go, I see a lot of mistrust. Hata Karen, ukienda home, you don't even trust your husband. Yeah, even if he comes late at night at 2 p.m., you always tell him or her, I know where you are coming from. You see now that type of a trust. When now you start questioning trust, right, left, center, I think it becomes an issue. And once now I see maybe you are not trusting me on what I'm saying, I'm going to hide a lot of information. I know, guys, that's what really happens. Yeah. That's what is really happening to us, because we are really having a form of mistrust, you know, at all levels, at all levels. Even when your child is doing their homework, you always say, I cannot trust that you do. Siku hizi niko huku huku. Siku hizi niko huko huku. Yeah. You know, now that the element, you know, the element, you cannot trust anyone. You are just there. Who shall I trust? I think that one is really killing our integrity. Atrashi, Gen Z in Africa and Kenya in particular protested for better governance and to aid corruption, but it's countries like Bangladesh and Nepal that have effective aid games. Yeah, I agree, Peter, I agree. Yeah, aid game is also very, very important. So Kalen and everyone, we must also cultivate what we call trust, you know, because when now we cultivate trust to our husbands, to our kids, to our teachers, to our president, to our, you know, I think now we start now gaining the aspect of integrity. But now when we do a lot of mistrust at all level, then I think everything is really changing and deteriorating when it comes to the issue of trust. There is someone who said that cultural influence can also deteriorate integrity, and I agree totally. You know, because there are some culture that are really promoting what we may call the suffer cool. You know, yeah. This is where maybe you are disregarding some commitment. You guys, you can agree with me. Growing up, as a child, maybe as a boy child or as a girl child, you are always told, you know what, you must do A B C D for you maybe to be tomorrow, maybe for you to be someone in the society tomorrow. But nowadays, things have drastically changed. You know, these have drastically changed, and we as parents, or maybe we as young people, you know, we don't really want to listen to what we are being told. We are always, you know, disregarding commitment in one way or another. And also parent, I also believe that there are also parents that are really contributing for their kids or for their sons and daughters not to be committed, you know, in creating their own pathway in life. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Let's like the live. We can support the live by liking. Also, we can support by, yes, Karen, let's reach 50K, guys. We can also vote. Guys. We can also vote on our chat section. You know, the lack of that responsibility. You know, because initially growing up, we are always told by our teachers, you know, when you don't do this ABCD, then things might not be so cool, you know, later in life. Nowadays, parents are not even enforcing on anything. Most parents are not enforcing anything. You just have your parent, and then at the end of the day, yeah, you just tell them, you know, I feel like I'm not going to work. So what do you really want? I really want just to stay here with you, and then at the end of the day, I'm comfortable. I think having that kind of, integrity value do not change. It's us who are changing them, and then claiming that integrity is ever changing. That's revisionism. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Peter. That revisionism. Yeah. I think we are revising on how we should be able to view integrity. But Peter, there are these parents that maybe they are not really encouraging their sons and daughters maybe to be responsible. And like I don't want to talk with a loud noise, but I saw of a certain parent, and the girl, the girl is pregnant. She is a college girl. The girl is pregnant, from what I heard from the parent, and then the parent is not even reinforcing for that girl to tell them who is the real mastermind of that action, and the parent is really encouraging that girl. You just go ahead and maybe give birth, and then from there we shall sort out things. So you see now that type of don't care kind of attitude by most parents, I think it's also killing what we are calling integrity, as Peter is saying. I think we are really revising integrity by maybe approaching what we may call the don't care life, kind of a lifestyle. I think that one, maybe in terms of parenting, I think we are not really doing our best. Yeah, I think we are not really doing our best. It's just the same way like maybe you might be a parent, and maybe you have some kids that maybe they always have some homework, but you don't really care whether the homework is checked or not. And then when they go to school and maybe they are sent back home, yeah, during our time, Karen can agree, when you don't do your homework, we are always sent back home. First of all, you are beaten, and then maybe you are sent back home. But nowadays, you don't even, maybe as a parent, you don't care whether the homework is done or checked. And in the process, when now your son or your daughter, yeah, of course, Karen, of course. Yeah, at the end of the day, now when your son or your daughter is failing, then now from there you just say that I think my son has failed because teachers maybe from this school didn't teach him well, maybe from class 1 to class 8. Yeah, but during those days, I think things were a little bit tough, and therefore getting maybe being a guy of integrity was something that was really, really valued. Na hiyo back home inaweza add up kwa mazishi yako. That's very true, Karen. That's very, very true. Yeah, very true. Because you see, at the end of the day, imagine now maybe it's like a friend who always told me, sometimes when maybe we don't reinforce some of these things, like very simple things like maybe doing your homework, maybe there is also a certain age, maybe you have a son or daughter, and maybe you really want to teach him or her some responsibility like kufua, washing some utensils and the stuff. But now when you have trained them that you can do everything, even when they get married, you'll always be hearing some petty form of some petty form of issues. Maybe they fought with the husband because maybe the wife does not know how to cook. You see, we heri tu ufanye hiyo homework ukifika tu nyumbani. But currently there are also some parents who are also going overboard, like the CBC thing. Yeah, Peter can also testify the CBC thing. Most of the CBC thing, I think it's not the kids who are doing it. Go and check that research. Most of the teachers are sending some complex things to kids, and then now ati si bwana anaweza pika. Okay, it's not really about cooking because the bwana anaweza saidia hapo. Thank you guys, thank you for joining. But you see, at the end of the day, you are fighting because of some petty issues maybe that you could have avoided. Maybe because in your training, maybe there was a misstep, or there were some steps that were missed. You see, And in the process of missing these steps, now, when you get there, you get that things are not running efficiently. Corinne, bonjour. How are you doing today? Like the CBC thing, Karen. Now, as a parent, kufua mostly huleta shida. Yeah, I agree. Most people fight because they really want to, like the husband is always saying, even my clothes, maybe they are always taken care by the maid and the staff. And in the process, they always fight. So I agree with you, Karen. But you see now, maybe you trained na usafi ya kila kitu. Yes. Now imagine that lady who is trained to do that and another lady who was not even trained to do that. Yeah, they were always told, just go to school, and once you go to school, everything shall be fine. So in the process, now they miss some fundamentals in life. It's like having a son. The son is not going to school, or the son is, going to school. Usafi ndio muhimu sana. Hata tubo Karen, hata tubo kukula pia muhimu Karen. Kukula pia muhimu. Kukula pia muhimu. Without good food, Karen. Without good food, it's also an issue. So people should be trained. People should be trained in all ways. To be clean. How to clean their house. How to clean their clothes. How. You understand? Simple life, but simple life that can be admired. Yeah. Not like just being there, and then at the end of the day you are just fighting, maybe because there are some very minor things that maybe you are not taught. So that's another way that you always find that people always tend to divert now what we call to integrity, because we really influenced and we really change some of those cultural values, because for us as Kikuyu, growing up, pia tubo, but hii unaweza tafuta tu side chick anajua kupika. Sasa hiyo si utakuwa umeharibu maneno Karen. You see now, okay Karen, let's be realistic. You see now, when I get that kind of side chick, and then at the end of the day I come home late, you always ask me, where did you go? What did you do? You even want also to investigate my phone. Where was I? What was I doing? And then in the process, you really want to kill me. Like I heard of a very bad case today, of a man who was over obsessed with her wife. Did you guys read that in the newspaper? And then in the process of being obsessed with the wife, the guy closed the door. The guy went home, closed the door, and then she brutally attacked the wife with a knife, and the wife is dead. The news are all over the papers, guys. The news are all over the social media. You see, because maybe, and when people are asked those guys that are within, their circle, their friendship circle or something of such, they are saying that they have never seen any issue emerging from them. Me, I don't know. Me, I don't know what. Ati ni kusaidiwa penye ameshindwa. But you see, it also works the same way. Like that skull story I have told you. We are also having some girls who are killing their husbands. Haven't you heard on those news, Carlin? They are there. And the reason why, maybe they are suspecting that maybe their husbands are eating some corners, They are eating some corners here and there. They are eating some corners, and they always say, "Me, I cannot fathom with someone who is eating some corners. I must take an effective action." And then, in the process of taking that effective action, you just find that things have turned into, into a nightmare. Killing each other. Ati kwa doa ni shikamoo. Kwa doa ni shikamoo. Yeah. Things are turning to be messy, Karen. Things are turning to be messy. Things are turning to be messy. And when you check from the key, about the issue of mistrust, and now when you check the issues of mistrust, because of phone, because of what, because those smaller things, very very minute things, but they are having a lot of implications. Like that guy now, he'll go to jail because he has killed. That's a murder case. You see, that's a murder case. And once you have murdered, then according to our law, the easiest penalty that you can get, it may be being in jail for 20 years. Now let's assume that the guy was 50 or maybe was 40 years. You see, now with the easiest penalty, he'll be 60 years, and then 60 years you are coming out of jail. And then at the end of the day, you just find that, oh, things have really really changed. 20 years, the current president will not be in the office. It will be a total change. Even the road that you used to go to your house, it is, maybe you'll have, everything will have changed. You see now. So yeah, Karen, I agree. Simu haribu maneno sana sana sana. Yeah, I agree. Karen, how should we handle that issue? How should we handle that issue of ensuring that we don't look at each other's phone? How can we handle that issue? How can we handle that issue, Karen? Doa ilikuwa inawaka kitabu juu haikuwa na simu. Yeah, I agree to a very very I agree that's a very very that's a very very sensitive topic that we should talk about. The couple should always be honest with each other. I agree, Karen. That's why now we are talking about integrity, because now integrity and honesty, they go line in line. They go line in line. You cannot remove one and you add the other, and you add the other. They must be line in line. Like here they are saying that for us, to keep on ensuring that integrity is working within our society and within our lives, we must also be able to change with time. We change with time. If Karen, that maybe the phone is the problem, we have a guiding principle on how we are going to handle phones when we come home. I think that's a good policy. Having a guiding principle. I think it's a very very good thing, because for instance, now when we have a guiding principle, maybe let's say it's an issue of what are they called, couples, then maybe you are going to agree. Maybe there is no way that we'll be looking at each other's phone. I think that one can work. I think that one So having a guiding principle, I think it's a good one. But when now we don't have the guiding principle, wow, I'm telling you, things are going to be, things are going to be on the long move. Things are going to be on the long move. So having a guiding principle, I think it's a very, very good thing. Having a guiding principle, I think it's a very, very good thing. Because we shall be able to solve all these things. We shall be able to solve all these things that are really emerging. But once we don't have a guiding principle, wow, things will always go on the long way. Things will always go on the long way. So having a guiding principle, I think it's a good thing, and this should be applied across the spectrum. We should apply this across the spectrum, be it in our home, be it in our workplace. We just have that guiding principle. You say, like having what we used to call maybe a creed and saying, if it's phone that is going to if it's my phone that is going to separate me and maybe with my wife, then for me, I think I'm going to handle it in the best way possible. You see, I think that one will be able to handle a lot of things. That one will be able to handle a lot of things, a lot of things. So that one is very, very key. That one is very, very, very key in ensuring that we handle these things with a lot of care. We handle with a lot of care. So the first one is all about having that form of guiding principle. Then besides having that form of guiding principle, then we can apply what we call, as holistic approach. Having a holistic form of approach. This is where we'll always stay true to the course. Staying true to the course. Yeah, not just we change because people are changing. No, not because we should change because people are changing, but we should remain true to ourselves. What do we really want in life? That should be the question. Am I really do I really want to stay in this marriage? Something of such. Staying true to the course and not changing the direction. As Peter said, it's us who are really trying to change the entire, we should not we should stay to the course, and we should not change with time because other people are really changing. No, we should always stay and ensure that we really do what is best for us, and also for other people. I think that one will also be very, very key. That one will also be very, very key. So having token, yes, Karen, my token is crying. My token is crying. It's saying that it needs some recharge. Yes, Karen. Yes, Karen. The token. The token is really saying something. Then we should also be able to cherish the compromise. There are so many things that can compromise our integrity. A lot of things can compromise our integrity. Even if kama we ni mzazi na umesota, don't take shortcuts. Sidio Karen, don't take shortcuts. Let's agree, even if kama we ni mzazi umesota, hauna pesa ya kununua laba, pencil, books, even if you don't have all these things, we should not take shortcuts. Let's go the long route. Let's go that route that will ensure that at the end of the day we'll enforce on integrity. Otherwise, once now we are there, then it becomes a little bit better, especially now when we show maybe our sons and daughter, or maybe those that are surrounding us, not to compromise on what we believe. Niko na another 20 minutes to go. Kesho so our inability not to compromise things, I think it will be a better thing. Even if we don't have money, maybe to buy this for our kids, maybe to do ABCD, and maybe we are employed. Like today I saw of another news about a guy who used to work with KRA, and he really wanted to impress the wife. That form of impression. And in the process of impressing the wife, he really took what we may call high life. So in the process, the guy took a lot of loans, and he was ready to compromise everything because of the wife. And now last year, the guy went overboard, and it's purported that they stole good size amount of money, good amount of money. It said about 2 million Kenya shillings. And in the process, the guy lost his job, you know. And in the process of losing his job, then it really became more complex for this guy, you know, to sustain the same family that he was really working for. And in the process of doing that, now the wife has neglected that guy, you see, because he didn't really have what we are calling the need to carry the compromise, you know, to start farm and to ensure that despite all this form of maybe stress, all this form of maybe ABCD, there was need to remain firm and to the cause. So that's another very instrumental thing. Just to remain course and to remain true to what maybe you can do. Hmm? That one is also very important. So we really need to ensure that we apply these ethical standards, yeah, and we remain true to what we really believe and what we cannot and we start for what we really believe for. Let's not change with time, because things are changing, because maybe you have been employed somewhere, and then since everyone is stealing, you also believe that maybe when you steal you become better. No, things are going to turn, things are going to change. And now when things change, it will be now you against the world. Like that guy I'm telling you, he said that when he was really working with KRA, he really used to have a lot of friends. But nowadays, once now he was ejected out of office, all the friends were gone. You know, all the friends were gone, and the guy is just there alone. And you know, now the wife is also saying that she really wants divorce. You see, the wife is also saying, you know, I really now want divorce because I believe there is nothing that you are doing for me. Hmm? You see, now that one makes everything more complex. That one makes everything now more complex. So it's always good to stand for what we believe, that that's our position, and in the process of studying for our values, we always believe that we'll be able to meet a lot of things. We'll be able to meet a lot of things. We'll be able to meet a lot of things. So why now should we, you know, start for what we call the personal integrity? The first thing, you know, as the society keep on changing, you know, having what we are calling the personal integrity, we really become ambassador for change, you know, and I really emulate and really love those guys that really stood with, you know, with a lot of integrity. Like globally, we had a very good people. I really love Barack Obama. You know that guy. You know, he really stood with a lot of integrity. You know, we also quote, we call him Mahatma Gandhi. You know, guys, that guy was also another very good guy because he really stood with a lot of integrity. We also cannot neglect the role that was played by, you know, Nelson Mandela. You know, even if he went to the prison, that guy, he really stood with a lot of integrity. So once we are able now to cultivate and to start with our integrity, you know, now we start catalyzing for what we call the change. Yeah. And nowadays, I believe the people that have really stood for integrity, they are the young guys, the Gen Zs. You know, I can see, as Peter was saying, they are really trying to bring a lot of changes, you know, in the government systems. They are believing that maybe the government should corruption, maybe, you know, all those voices that are linked with the government. So the Gen Zs of today, most of them, they really now believe in catalyzing change. And in the process of catalyzing change, they now really come with what we are calling, they really want to instill or really to reinforce on the art of positivity, and this is well linked with integrity. Yeah. And the other important aspect of ensuring that we are having personal integrity, this is always for us to be making what we may call the ethical, the ethical standards or the ethical actions that keep on reshaping the world. As I said, I think now this is where the Gen Zs are. They have really catalyzed a lot of change. So in terms of changes, they have really characterized a lot of change by saying, we need to change this, we need to do this, we need to do this. And in the process of doing that, they are really impacting the world. People are always very, very impressed by what the young people are doing. I really admire, especially when I see the Gen Zs always advocating for their rights. They are saying, I might not do this one for me, but I'm doing this one for the generations to come. And I think that's the best. That's the best part, of being a change maker. Because at the end of the day, they are really trying to bring back the ethics. The ethics of good governance, they must be there. That's what they are saying. And in the process of doing that, everything is really, really boiling up nicely, and things are really changing for the betterment of, I think, for the betterment of everyone, in the society, everywhere. I think that's now at the position where we are really in. Yeah, so guys, I think that was a good topic, and I hope and I really believe that you guys, you have really enjoyed the topic. You have really enjoyed the topic, and we have also learned that integrity is not changing, but it is us who are maybe trying to alter, the lens, or maybe to change on how we should be able to see integrity. But the fundamentals of integrity, they really remain as where they were before. So it's upon us. It's upon us maybe to focus on how maybe we can be able to instill back integrity in our society. They believe that's the best course of action that we can take during this time that we are here. 50 years to come, let's say 70, let me not be so fast. Let's say 70 years to come, we will be gone. But now they always lead and understand how we really did our integrity. Did these guys or did that generation maybe apply integrity? That's a very, very profound question that they will always ask. So it's always good to appreciate that the moment now we start approaching approaching integrity from maybe at the personal level, I think it's going to escalate all the way to the top. Changes are going to be realized at the personal level, maybe at the corporate levels, maybe where we work, for those maybe that work with organizations, and even those in the government, because once now we really go back to the core foundation of ethical standards of integrity, I think now things are going to work better. Things are going to work better. So guys, I believe you have really enjoyed the topic, and I really want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for Peter. Thank you for Carlen. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for Corinne and everyone else who contributed to today's topic. It was just, guys, nice to meet you. And I believe that, God willing, tomorrow we shall also meet. Thank you guys for joining. If you are here and you are new, you can kindly consider subscribing, and you can also, guys, consider maybe contributing to today's topic on integrity. So guys, I really want to say thank you. Thank you so much for always supporting this platform. I know guys, you have a lot of things to do, but at the end of the day, you always choose to be here. You know, that's not a thing that can always be taken in a light manner. You know, that's a thing that I always take with a lot of things. So guys, all I want to wish you is a good day, a good night, and God willing guys, we shall meet tomorrow, same time, same place. And as I wind up, let me read how maybe we have voted. You know, this is our question was very specific on integrity, and our question was, why do you believe integrity is changing at a faster rate? Why do you believe integrity is changing at a faster rate? And 40% have really said it's because we have erosion of trust. You know, that 40% have really said erosion of trust is really messing up with integrity. You know, erosion of trust. There is no one that you can trust. Yeah. Corporate scandals. You know, no one have really suggested that corporate scandals are really, you know, affecting what we are calling integrity. But we have cultural influences at 20%. This is where 20% have really said, you know, because we are living maybe in a new modern world where maybe, you know, our perception of doing things, our cultures are changing, our cultures are becoming ever dynamic. You know, the aspect of globalization and the stuff, you know, the global culture. I think maybe that's where maybe we are compromising our integrity. And others have always said 40%. You know, 40% from others have also recognized that there are so many other reasons. There are so many other reasons that are also making our integrity to be compromised in today's world. Wow. Thank you so much guys for voting. Thank you so much guys for always nice thing to have a new each and every time. So guys, you can also check up on the other lives that we have done in the past. You know, we are always here to enjoy, to learn from each other, you know, to have views from each and everyone, which is always a very good thing that always keeps us ongoing. You know, that's a very instrumental thing that keeps us ongoing each and every time. When we converse and when we have some conversations, it's always a very good time for us to keep on exchanging ideas. So guys, thank you so much. May God bless you. Let's see each other tomorrow, same place, same time, God willing. And may God bless you guys. Until tomorrow, bye. So guys, let's see each other tomorrow. Good night. Bye everyone. Bye.